first step in troubleshooting Icicle lights is to check the power source. Ensure the lights are plugged into a working outlet or extension cord. To confirm the outlet is functional, use a voltmeter to test for the correct voltage. The second step involves a close inspection for damaged bulbs. Carefully examine all the lights looking for any broken or burnt out bulbs. If you find any damaged bulbs, replace them immediately with bulbs of the same type and wattage. Thirdly, check for loose connections. Inspect all plugs and connectors for any loose or disconnected wires. If you find any loose wires, carefully reattach them by twisting the exposed ends together and then covering the connection thoroughly with electrical tape. The fourth step is testing for continuity. Use a continuity tester to check if electricity is flowing continuously through the entire length of the lights. If there is a break in the circuit, the continuity tester will not light up or provide the appropriate indication, signaling a problem. Fifthly, if the continuity test fails, you need to locate the break. Isolate the break by dividing the strand of lights in half and testing each section separately. Continue dividing the strand into smaller and smaller sections until you identify the specific section where the break occurs. Sixthly, once you have located the break, proceed to repair it. Carefully cut the wire at the break point. Use a wire stripper to remove the insulation from the ends of the wires. Then twist the exposed wires together to ensure a good electrical connection and cover the joint with electrical tape or use a heat shrink connector for a more secure and insulated repair. Finally, after completing the repair, test the lights. Plug in the lights and check to see if they are now working properly. If some sections still don't light up, repeat the troubleshooting steps to find any additional issues. To make repairs faster and easier, firstly, use a work mat to prevent the lights from getting tangled, which can save time and frustration. Secondly, have replacement bulbs on hand before starting the repair, so you don't have to stop mid-process to find the correct bulbs. Thirdly, use a continuity tester to quickly locate any breaks in the circuit, speeding up the diagnostic process. It's also important to avoid excessive twisting or bending of the wires, as this can damage them and create new problems. If you are unsure about any of these steps or are uncomfortable working with electrical wiring, contact a qualified electrician for assistance to ensure safety. When inspecting for damaged bulbs, look closely at the bulb filament. If the filament is broken or blackened, the bulb needs to be replaced. Sometimes a bulb may appear intact but still be faulty, so it's a good idea to test each bulb individually if you suspect multiple failures. When checking connections, pay attention to any signs of corrosion or damage on the plugs and connectors. Corrosion can prevent a good electrical connection, so clean any corroded surfaces with a wire brush or contact cleaner. If the plugs or connectors are damaged, replace them entirely to ensure a reliable connection. When using a continuity tester, make sure the lights are unplugged from the power source to avoid electrical shock. The continuity tester sends a small electrical signal through the circuit to check for breaks, so it's important to disconnect the power to ensure safety. When repairing a break in the wire, make sure the wires are securely twisted together to create a strong electrical connection. A loose connection can cause the lights to flicker or fail completely, so take the time to make a solid repair. When covering the repaired wires with electrical tape, wrap the tape tightly and overlap each layer to create a waterproof and insulated seal. This will help prevent future corrosion and damage to the wires. If you are using heat shrink connectors, follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully to ensure a proper seal. Heat shrink connectors provide a more durable and professional-looking repair than electrical tape, but they require a heat gun to activate the heat shrink material. After completing the repair, inspect the entire length of the lights for any other potential problems, such as frayed wires or loose connections. Addressing these issues proactively can prevent future failures and extend the life of your Icicle lights. If you have a large number of lights to repair, consider using a light tester specifically designed for holiday lights. These testers can quickly identify faulty bulbs and wiring problems, saving you time and effort. Remember to store your Icicle lights properly when they are not in use. Wrap them carefully and store them in a dry place to prevent damage and corrosion. Avoid storing them in direct sunlight or extreme temperatures, which can shorten their lifespan. Regularly inspect your Icicle lights for any signs of wear and tear, and address any problems promptly to keep them in good working condition. With proper care and maintenance, your Icicle lights can provide years of enjoyment. When checking the power source, try plugging the lights into a different outlet to rule out any issues with the original outlet. If the lights still don't work, the problem is likely with the lights themselves. When replacing bulbs, use the correct type and wattage to avoid overloading the circuit. Using the wrong bulbs can cause the lights to overheat or even start a fire. If you are unsure about the correct bulb type, consult the manufacturer's instructions or a qualified electrician. When reattaching loose wires, use wire strippers to remove the insulation from the ends of the wires without damaging the conductors. A clean wire strip will ensure a good electrical connection. When using electrical tape, choose a high-quality tape that is designed for electrical applications. Cheap electrical tape may not provide adequate insulation or protection against moisture. When testing continuity, use a multimeter set to the continuity setting. A multimeter can provide a more accurate reading than a simple continuity tester, especially for long strands of lights. When locating the break, visually inspect the wire for any signs of damage, such as cuts, cracks, or kinks. These can be signs of a break in the circuit. When repairing the break, consider using solder to create a more permanent connection. Soldering the wires together will provide a stronger and more reliable connection than twisting them together. However, soldering requires specialized tools and skills, so only attempt it if you are comfortable with the process. After completing the repair, use a cable tie or zip tie to secure the repaired section of wire. This will help prevent the wires from coming loose and protect the repair from damage. If you are using Icicle lights outdoors, make sure they are rated for outdoor use. Outdoor lights are designed to withstand the elements such as rain, snow, and sunlight. If your Icicle lights have a fuse, check the fuse to see if it has blown. A blown fuse can prevent the lights from working. Replace the fuse with a fuse of the same type and amperage rating. If the fuse blows again immediately, there may be a short circuit in the lights. If your Icicle lights are connected in series, a single faulty bulb can cause the entire strand to go out. Check each bulb individually to identify the faulty one. If your Icicle lights are connected in parallel, a single faulty bulb will not affect the other bulbs. However, it is still important to replace faulty bulbs to maintain the overall brightness of the lights. When storing your Icicle lights, avoid wrapping them too tightly, as this can damage the wires. Instead, coil them loosely and secure them with cable ties or zip ties. Store your Icicle lights in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight. Sunlight can cause the plastic components of the lights to become brittle and crack. Regularly inspect your Icicle lights for any signs of damage or wear and tear. Replace any damaged lights or components to prevent potential hazards. When handling electrical wiring, always take precautions to avoid electrical shock. Wear rubber gloves and eye protection and work in a dry environment. If you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring, consult a qualified electrician. When using a ladder to hang Icicle lights, follow safety guidelines to prevent falls. Use a sturdy ladder and have someone spot you while you are climbing. Do not overreach or lean too far to one side. If you are hanging Icicle lights on a metal surface, make sure the lights are properly grounded to prevent electrical shock. Consult a qualified electrician for assistance with grounding. When using extension cords with Icicle lights, make sure the extension cords are rated for outdoor use and are heavy-duty enough to handle the electrical load. Do not overload extension cords, as this can cause them to overheat and start a fire. When plugging in Icicle lights, make sure the plug is fully inserted into the outlet. A loose connection can cause the lights to flicker or fail to work. If you are using a timer to control your Icicle lights, make sure the timer is rated for outdoor use and is compatible with the lights. Do not use a timer that is not designed for outdoor use, as this can create a fire hazard. When disposing of old Icicle lights, recycle them properly. Do not throw them in the trash, as they contain materials that can be harmful to the environment. Check with your local recycling center for information on how to recycle old Icicle lights. Before starting any electrical work, turn off the power at the circuit breaker. This will help prevent electrical shock. Use a voltage tester to confirm that the power is off before touching any wires. If you are unsure about any aspect of electrical work, consult a qualified electrician. Electricity can be dangerous, and it is important to take precautions to protect yourself. Following these troubleshooting steps and tips will help you quickly and easily repair your Icicle lights and get them shining brightly again. Remember to always prioritize safety when working with electricity.